Hi, I'm Dennis Weiss. Welcome to our town. Once in a while, because it's kind of the show I do, I get to do things that are just fun and hopefully at the same time enlightening to our community. And today's one of those. I'm at Meade Battery and Electric, and I'll bet you've never been in here. And Mick Meade, so I said to Mick, I said, so what's your last name, Mick? And he said, Meade. I felt like a fool. So this is a cool place, Mick. We have a Timken display behind us. Actual bearings in a box you can walk up and touch. That's from a different era. So cool. How long have you been in business? Tell me the story of Meade Battery and Electric.
Well, I think we started in about 1917. My granddad had it, and then my dad had it, and I worked for my dad, and then I've had it the last 30 years probably. So I've been here 50 years almost.
What a terrific story. You know, when I came in here to get my son's truck fixed, you told me, hey, I see you on TV when I asked if we could do one of these. So, and I'd seen you behind the counter here, and I think I had my old Chevy truck in here maybe a decade ago to get worked on. But I never asked you, why is it battery and electric?
Apparently they made batteries way back in the 20s, and they had the name Meade Battery. They charged the batteries. These farmers would bring them in because they had no electricity. There's a line charger back there that you could do about 10 of them on.
Really? No kidding.
And they never changed the name.
I think it's a terrific story. So, you know, it's an auto parts store up front. There's a repair shop out here. We're going to talk to your mechanic, Mike, after a little while. But every time I come in here, it's just cool. This is what all auto parts stores used to look like.
Yeah.
Right over there, there's a display of different sizes of half-inch oil drain plugs that you can put in your hand and look at compared to the old one and go, I think I'll try this one. Nothing in a blister pack here, Mick.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the way it was. They were all that way back then.
So tell me about your business. What I know it's an auto parts store and a repair shop. Where does the majority of your business come from?
Oh, probably working on cars, I suppose, and heads and carburetors. There's a ton of carburetors still left out there. Yeah. So we keep busy.
You know, I asked you before Dave got here with the camera, I said, so you got a little machine shop in the back? And then I got the grand tour. So yes, there is a little machine shop in the back, and there are some machines back there that I haven't seen since a little tiny shop in upstate New York had machines, and I've watched some armature grinding going on while I was back there. I don't think too many people do that anymore, Mick.
No, they work better when they're turned and undercut. They'll turn over better. Yeah. But no, that's kind of a thing of the past, but we're working on one now.
For a Ford tractor that's sitting out here in your shop, that you know, the paradigm of is it cheaper to just replace with another one and fix it? Everybody has to make that decision as an economic decision, but even if you do that, you have to find somebody who will work on those things, and I think that's a niche I don't know too many people do.
Yeah, there's a few around, but not too many.
So you've spent most of your life at Meade Battery and Electric in Abilene, Kansas. Mm-hmm. You happy?
Yeah. I don't know what else to do. I'm used to it.
So when your dad said, come on, you're going to work today, were you happy that day?
Yeah. I like to work. I mean, I like to get up and go every day.
Yeah, that's... you know, there's a lot of things, Mick, and when I film this, I call it our town. And there's so many things that are cool in Abilene that we just drive by every day.
And right.
Yeah, just don't realize it. Well, I think this is one of those. This is the place where you can have some things done that not many people do. Mm-hmm. I see I suppose this is going to turn into a Mike answer, but I'll say the question. So I walked in here the other day, and there's a demo car sitting out there with stacks coming up about that big around, and I said, so you working on a demo car? And he says, yeah, it breathes pretty good. A lot of air flowing through there. Goes in the carburetor, out the stacks. You've worked on 2 carburetors for me, a Rochester 4-barrel and an Edelbrock on the forward. Working on carburetors is few and far between as well anymore.
Yeah, there's still a lot of them out there, though.
There are.
Yeah. When
you look up and down Main Street of Abilene and you look at the businesses that come and go, we're like any small town. You have about 10 open, you have about 8 go away. That's nationwide, that's the same. I think Abilene has a better record than that for small businesses, and this is one of them. So been here since 1917 with the same name. That's remarkable.
Yeah, I think nobody's alive that really knows, but I find stuff in the office that's got my granddad's name on it, 1917.
No kidding.
Stuff like that, so.
And a honest to God cash register up there. That's a little spooky right there. An honest to God cash register. Does it have actual cash in it?
Yeah, it works. Electricity goes off, it still works.
That still works. Well, that's the reason we set up here, because you asked me, you said, shall I lock that door? And I said, no, somebody might come in and want to do business, and Mike can take care of them over there. So
yeah.
We'll take care of all the business that walks in during the interview, pretty sure. All right, let me think a minute. I think of the stuff we talked about, and I guess because I'm looking at it, the display of additives, motor oil additives, radiator additives, fuel additives has always been sucks me in a parts store. Years and years and years of looking at what we've done to make motors work better, and you have a full selection of stuff down there, but you've got some things I've never seen before. You got some products down there that I picked it up and looked at it, and it said this is especially designed for diesel engine coolant systems. I don't think I've ever seen one of those before.
Yeah, they've got all kinds of additives out that have been around forever, like Resolone. That stuff's been out since I can remember.
Yeah, my granddad used to run it straight in the wintertime in his Chryslers in Colorado. That would have been in the 30s and 40s. Everybody thought he was crazy, but his Chryslers ran good.
Yeah, you can run it straight, and the people who used to sell it would come in here and drain it out of their car right over on the other side, all the oil out of it, and then go right around town in it.
Really?
With no oil in it. And it'd pass that test, and they come back and put it back in.
No kidding. No, that's kind of putting your money where your mouth is in your advertisement, isn't it? Drain all your own oil out and drive around town.
Yeah.
I guess so. So how long are you going to be here?
Oh, I don't know. I've been thinking about retiring. I'm 66. I'll be 67. And I don't know. I might turn it over to Mike, the other guy. I don't know. I haven't thought about it too much.
Haven't figured that out yet. You know, that is a question that we have talked about on this program, Mick, with a number of small business people. And, you know, what's the generational exchange going to be? Went from your grandfather to your father to you. Now, the question is for Abilene, what becomes of Meade Battery and Electric when you decide to stop being here? We as a town, we hope there's an answer to that. And frankly, it's one of the reasons we do this show. There's some young person out there who goes, my goodness, that sounds like an opportunity. My goodness, go walk in and talk to the folks down here. But, you know, it used to be that apprenticeship was part of business. You were your dad's apprentice, whether you knew it or not. You know, you came in here as a young man, he taught you stuff, and you learned to run the machines, learned to run the business, and when he handed it to you, you were ready to go. That's kind of hard to find today.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
yep.
So how much time we got, Dave? About ready to cut it in half? All right, we're going to take a break. and we're going to get Mike up here and talk about the shop a little bit. I sure appreciate you letting me come in and do this.
All right.
I think I've had a good time, and we'll see you next time the carburetor needs work.
All righty.
We'll be right back, folks.
Eagle Communications is the leader in advertising services. We take the guesswork out of marketing your business. From creating the message to managing the campaign, Eagle can make your business stand out. Meet customers where they shop. Take your business online with a digital campaign and showcase your products on TV and radio.
Let me help you reach the people that matter most by targeting demographics and using platforms that are proven to make your business grow. Give me a call today. Eagle Communications, our community connected.
Dennis Weiss back at Meade Battery and Electric with the main mechanic, Mike Lehman. How are you today, sir?
Good.
All right. Okay. I already accused you of being a sandbagger before the camera came on. You said, don't ask any hard questions because we're not too smart. And I said, I came here to get my car fixed, remember, not the other way around. So you've got a nice shop over here to my left. You got a well-breathing demo car sitting right inside of there. You got an MG and a little Ford 9N or 8N or so tractor. That's a pretty interesting mix there, Mike.
Yeah, it's been even more interesting at times. It's never a dull moment around here usually.
So what are you doing to the little Ford tractor?
Fixing the starter, and once I get it fired, I got to see why it doesn't run right. It will run, but it doesn't run right.
Okay.
The guy said he was tired of messing with it,
Yep.
so he brought it to me.
There you go. There you go. And what are you doing to the MG?
Well, I'm actually done with it because it needs a new wiring harness. That's one of the few things that I hate to say I'll have to tell the guy I'm out on this one because
Lucas Electronics.
it needs a whole new wire. It's
Oh my.
got wires melded together and this
Yeah.
and that. It starts and runs, but the headlights don't work, turn signals don't work, and
Yeah.
it's had a bunch of wiring cobbled up on it, and I like it.
I hope none of the British folks that are watching are too offended, but that generation of electronics all was suspect. Whether they're motorcycles, cars, airplanes, you name it, all the electronics was a little weak.
If it's an American-made vehicle, I could pretty much rewire it from one end to the other without replacing the harness, but not on one of those.
Okay. So how long have you been here?
28 years as of
28
March
years.
the 3rd.
And you're the young guy.
I'm the young guy. I was 19 when I started here.
Wow. Like coming to work every day?
Well, yeah, you always have something interesting to look at usually.
What's the deal with the demo car? Is that a personal project? Is that a shop project?
That is my oldest boy's project.
Okay.
Him or me, neither one have our own garage to work in, so he kind of took over that stall.
Okay.
You'll probably see it and many others in here between now and August or October.
Okay. You know, again, we never know who's watching, but the largest single event that puts people in an aggregate group are the demo derbies in Dickinson County. Their audiences are even larger than the rodeo audience. So I never would have guessed that when I moved here, but I've learned that since. And that's a huge economic boon to our community, those demo derbies. And you know, you get to looking underneath the covers of the demo derby, and there's a family. That's really a family organization that does most of the putting of that event on. And there's a lot of people like yourself who are working a lot of hours, buying parts, putting things together for cars to go in and have a great time on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday nights.
Yeah, I've been building carburetors and heads and what have you for people for years for derby cars.
So tell us a little bit about the tour I took a while ago back there. You had a head upside down on a rack, looked like
That's actually for a derby car.
For a derby car, looked like maybe the seats are freshly cut and you're polishing the ports and the whole 9 yards.
Well, the customer that owns those actually did the polishing the port stuff. I don't get into that too much.
Okay.
Takes too much time, but
Yeah.
I do the guides and the seats and the valves and resurface them and all that.
I saw an honest to God valve grinding machine in the back as well. Doubt there's too many of those hanging around.
No, and you probably see there's heads anywhere you look at in here.
Yeah.
I got a pile of them. I keep pretty busy working on heads and carburetors in between everything else, but
So if you got an old car that with heads that are kind of hard to find at the rebuilt head shop, you could probably get it fixed back there.
more than likely, if they're not cracked. I
Yeah.
can't repair the cracks.
But you can fix a head. You know, I don't know, what comes to mind is the 429 motor seemed to be, I was looking at heads for an old GM 350 and I'm looking online. There was a certain group of motors, they're just not available, and if my memory serves me, that was one of them. They were kind of scarce and very expensive. Guy might be able to fix it in the back though.
Quite possible.
Okay, what do you do most of? Is there a most over here in the shop? Or is it so much of a mix it's hard to say?
Over here, as far as working on vehicles, it's pretty much a mix because I do about anything except air conditioning, and I don't do as, I used to replace a lot of engines, and I still will replace an engine. Just don't do it that often.
Okay.
I used to pull heads off and put in head gaskets. I don't really like getting that far into them anymore, but I still do some. But
Okay.
other than that, I mean, just a lot of tune-up and wiring, do a lot of wiring.
It was interesting to me to take the tour. Brakes.
Do brakes.
Things that wear out, clutches.
Of course, rear differentials, that's kind of another lost art. It seems like a lot of people are scared to death to tear into a
Yeah.
differential and put in a new ring and pinion and
Sure.
bearings, but I do a lot of that.
The setup on those can be a little tricky.
Right.
Not so hard to put the parts back in there, it's just kind of hard to put them in there right.
Right. So I guess I kind of taught myself to do it and got somewhat good at that because I can pretty much set up about any rear end to make it work.
That's interesting. Most of the cars out there have no rear end in them, do they? They're all
Right.
front wheel drive, you know, so, but that doesn't mean there's not a huge number of vehicles. There are
Lot of
two at my
pickups.
house and two old 86 trucks, and one's a Chevy, one's a Ford, but there's a lot of that in our country that still depend on differentials and axle bearings and all the things that make rear wheel drive happy.
I do quite a bit of that work still. Still a lot of trucks running around with rear differential.
So if the old wheat truck is whining pretty bad on the way to town, every time you shift into fourth and hit about 42 miles an hour and you got a whine coming out of the rear end, when wheat season's over, maybe they could take a look at that differential here at Meade Battery and Electric.
Well, I've never done anything that big, but not saying I couldn't.
Oh, there's a lot of old C60 Chevy trucks running around
I
out
do
there.
work on a lot of those.
Yeah.
In fact, I went as far as having to replace a camshaft in one for a guy here a year or two ago. I didn't realize those front ends were so short on those 70 C60s, you could not get the cam slid out of there. I cheated and done a little snip and clip on the grill and welded it back together.
Been here 28 years, we've established that. If you had it to do over, would you be here 28 years again?
You mean 28 more? Or?
No, if you had that choice again when you were, what, in 7th grade, so would you do it again?
Yeah, probably.
It's always an interesting question to hear the answer to. You know, communities like ours, we have such a wide range of things people do. But I look at you as a young guy. Your hair is still all black, and you've been here 28, well, it shows a little there, but you've been here 28 years. You started young.
I'll probably be here another 28 years if I live that long.
Not too many places anymore have 28-year employees that started young and are looking forward to a few more years.
I hear that a lot.
Yeah, yeah, true a lot.
Well, because other than when Jim Weishauer was still alive and was still working here, that was just me, him, and Mick. And then since the late 90s, it's just been me and Mick. So we're pretty much both our own bosses. I mean, he is my boss, but as the years went on, I probably don't really listen to him that much. But
well, you become knowledgeable partners with each other. That long of a relationship, not much bossing needed as long as everybody does what they're supposed to,
so
right?
to go out and try to get a job somewhere else, which I actually tried that once and it didn't work. Probably for some reason that didn't work. Everything happens for a reason.
It does.
So here I still am. And now I'm getting old enough that, of course, yeah.
Well, continuity is a great thing.
If Mick turns it over to me someday, I guess I'll probably be stuck here for quite some time.
Well, that'd be all right. We need a Meade battery and electric in the future. I'd say we figure that out.
It's been here.
He said 1917, I think, is what he said.
It's been here that long, might as well keep it going.
Yeah.
This is probably the oldest business in this area still operating.
I wonder if that's not true. If somebody is a historical buff out there, we'd like to know the answer to that, and they would too. So,
well, there's nobody still alive around here that can tell you what was in this building for sure before this place was here.
okay, we got a challenge for you
We've heard
historians.
lots of different stories, but I don't think anybody knows.
Okay. Well, thanks for letting us come in today with a camera. I know it wasn't what you had on your mind for today, but we sure appreciate the chance to do it. And thanks for helping us keep our old gear running.
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
Okay. Folks, I hope you enjoyed a look inside Meade Battery and Electric. I know I love to walk in this door and smell the smell and look at the things that are on the sides of the display cases, the Timken bearing. It always makes me feel like Americana is still alive and well. I'm Dennis Weiss. I work for Eagle Communications, Meade Battery and Electric, and I wish you a great day.